Well, hello everyone. So it is day 14, I believe, of BookTube Veda. And so I figured I'd make an early video this time. So I read Mockingjay for the, I want to say, 5th time. I definitely have not read it as much as I've read the first Hunger Games book. But it has to be the 4th or 5th time that I've read this now. When the movie was coming out, and, the series was still pretty popular, which, it is still talked about here and there still. People, many people just hated this book, or they were just so angry at it. And the thing is that I started the series after the movies had come out, or after the first movie came out at least. So I was a little late, for that party there. And as I said before, I kind of like not jumping on trends right away, just because, I can enjoy things on my own time. And I don't know if that's why I felt differently. Maybe it's because I also had different perspectives than some people. There are people that were older than me that did read the series that liked it and didn't like the ending and everything. But majority was young adults, because that is what the book is aimed towards. So, it could be a whole lot of different things and why I viewed things a little bit differently. Maybe this is because the first series that I really completed. It could be a whole lot of things, or it could just be me. I don't know. But I did not hate this book the first time that I read it. And in fact, upon reread, I like it better than Catching Fire. So when I first read the series, I liked it in order. I liked Hunger Games, Catching Fire, then Mockingjay. But upon rereading Catching Fire, there are some things that I just didn't really care for. A lot of it is the same as the first book in certain concepts, but it does have its own twist. I do love Catching Fire. And I wasn't the biggest fan of Mockingjay, but upon a couple of rereads, I understand why people didn't like it, but then I started to realize how good of a book it is, its value, etc. So I think the problem is that it's so different than the first two books. The first two books literally have the Hunger Games in it, whereas this book deals with the aftermath of the games when the Second Rebellion starts. This book is a lot more, I want to say sad or somber, because the whole trilogy is, but it definitely has that more grimness in the air, I guess you would say, because they've been through 2 Hunger Games now. They are hiding out from the government. They're planning this rebellion, and the whole thing is basically on Katniss. She is like she's a 17-year-old girl who has the weight of the world on her shoulders, basically. She lives in this oppressive dictatorship, basically, and she has this guy hell-bent on finding her and, bringing her down, because he risks losing his power and everything. So she has to protect her family from the government and everything. And she has been through a game where the only way to win is to kill other people. So she, has nightmares. She can't sleep. She's constantly worrying. And the book is kind of a downer. It really is. I mean, but I think Suzanne Collins did a great job in portraying somebody that has been through all that. Which basically, you would call it PTSD. The other thing is, obviously because there's no games in it, there's different pacing, but she focused a lot more on people preparing for war, preparing to take down a government, preparing to, sneak out, to hide, to, disguise and everything, and all the stress that comes with, you know, districts being bombed and, her still seeing innocent people die. So there was no Hunger Games in it, but there was still a lot of tragedy. There were some things that I guess I see people's point on, like her being knocked out a lot, but I don't think it was enough to, like, really totally affect the story. What I notice a lot of people are angry about is the people who die in this. And I get that, I really do. But I think what she was trying to do is show... Oops. I lost you guys. What she was trying to do was show the effects of war and hatred, stuff like that, because in real life, just because you are a symbol, just because, you might be a young person in love with a future and everything, leading a rebellion and everything, doesn't mean things are going to work out for you. People die in war. People die every day in everyday life. And I understand some people are like, well, what was this all for? And I probably was at the beginning too, but like I said, I came to realize that she wrote it that way because that's how real life is. That's how real life, prejudice, war, all this stuff is like. It does not stop for anybody. It does not say that I won't affect you, you're special. That's how it is. People lose loved ones. What she wrote is pretty realistic. I'm glad that things weren't all wrapped up in a bow at the end. And I don't have a problem with who she ended up with. And I don't have a problem with anything else at the end. It was more of a bittersweet ending, I guess you would say, because things ended, but there was a lot to deal with afterwards. After you've been through all that, you can try and find happiness, but there's a long road ahead. And I think Collins did an excellent job in portraying that idea, portraying that war is ugly, hatred is ugly, and, tragedy doesn't stop because of who you are. So, yeah, I love the book. I love that it touched on struggle and PTSD and war and how horrible a lot of this stuff is. The book is definitely different than the first two, but it is worth a read. And if you hated it the first time, I encourage you to try and reread it. Anyways, that is my review and my video. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye.